All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Dresden Files game in Las Vegas. Hooray. And the crowd goes wild. I am your slightly medicated DM, Brandon Levins. And this is, well, hopefully, this is a fun game. So, who remembers what happened last week? And I think we are still missing one person out of the roll 20 so far.
Sorry.
How could you, Steph? You have betrayed me. Blah.
Putting unicorns on my nails.
I remember that Ashton is trapped in a room with a somewhat suspicious Candace Bass and is scared.
I mean, I wouldn't say trap, really.
Alright, not quite trapped then.
And you're like a snake, so I'm sure you could like slither out.
Or go for round 2.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's an option, but it might be a little difficult considering the conversation started off with, weren't you a lot suaver last night?
It did.
And the aspects are poof.
They are. But still, we didn't focus on you a lot last game, so I think you might be a good starting place there, Mr. Ashton Hughes. So, Ashton, what are you doing? As she kind of looks at you and goes,
Who, me? No, I'm always like this.
oh. Okay. You want some food? I'm making food. Goes and flips some more bacon in the pan.
Smells delicious.
It is almost as delicious as you are, dear. And she goes over and sort of drapes her arms around your neck and lets out a sigh. She's like, that was ink. Please don't tell me you're thinking about sneaking out, are you?
Oh, I would never. That would be a bad thing, so no.
So, Mr. Hughes, tell me a little more about yourself. With your work with the Park Service, I believe. I think you went with that lie.
Yeah, I think so. This is gonna be fun. Oh yeah, well, I know a lot about the wilderness, so it seems like a natural fit.
She reaches up and just kind of runs her hands through your hair, and she's like, tell me about it.
I'm sure Ashton has more knowledge about the Mojave Wilderness, then
Oh yeah,
oh man, if only I had some performance points.
that is a thing. You could try to roll performance or deceit or rapport. I'll let either one of those really stick because
Okay.
it's
Yeah, I'll say rapport is I have rapport at great, so that's kind of a huge difference between the other two, which are both mediocre.
sure, but like some of these might be a little hard. Like rapport is the least fit, so the roll will probably be a little more difficult.
That makes sense.
Whereas deceit or performance really go there because she's asking you to sort of sell that what's going on. You can do it with rapport. It'll just be a very personal thing. So
Okay.
give me
I was sort of thinking, well, the other thing I was thinking is maybe I could do performance and then have that modified by survival. Since sort of implying that, he has that sort of knowledge.
actually, survival modified by performance. Actually,
Okay.
survival modified by your rapport. I'll even do that. All right.
Okay. So yeah, I'll I'll do the last one then. That is
What's your survival?
survival is 2.
2, so that would mean that the roll is a 3 effectively. So yeah. Roll for Tales of the Mojave. All right.
So yeah, Ashton will kind of regale her with stories of encounters while he was a snake, while trying to make it not sound like he was a snake.
Yeah. Animals you've seen, finding their nests, totally not eating their eggs, like, that
Oh
kind
yeah.
of. She seems very impressed. So, how does a park ranger with all of these stories ends up at the Velia? What's the name of the theater at the at Arcadia? Is it just the Arcadia stage, or is there some other grand name that you would like to come up?
I don't know.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
That's yeah, I don't know. I would think it's probably just
At
the
at a box seat in the main theater at Arcadia. What's this? With none other than Cash Clemens. You must lead a very interesting life, Mr. Hughes, if that is your name.
uh, Ashton and Travis realizing we did use our real names. That might come back to bite us. Oh well. That's right. Me and Connor go back a few years. Oh man, I'm sorry. Travis is thinking about role playing Ashton slipping up and accidentally mentioning that Connor has a boyfriend.
Won't offend me if you, because it is in character form.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met Connor through his boyfriend. Friend. See, it's Ashton sort of slips up and stops.
Boyfriend, you said?
I didn't. I might have said that, but I also might not have. Please don't tell anyone.
Boyfriend. Well, that is absolutely something. I didn't know he swung both ways.
Yeah, it's damn, I need to be more careful about that.
It's all right. Secret is safe with me for now.
That's good to hear. So what about you? Clearly I didn't know as much about your novels as I thought I did. But I'm still interested in how you come up with all this. Do you get inspiration from your actual life?
I suppose you could say that. I don't really want to talk about work.
That's fair. As I must say, this is a pretty huge apartment. Imagine this much cost a lot to rent out.
Oh no, it's taken care of.
Huh. Oh, do you know one of the managers of this place?
You could say that.
Must be. This is a pretty generous benefit.
It's part of the job.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to intrude upon work. That.
It's all right. I'm not taking you from your work, am I? You don't have to go out and do anything today.
Not for another few hours.
Okay. Well, I suppose we could stay in then. She kind of trails her arms up your chest and leans in and kisses your neck. How does Ashton react to this?
Yes.
So Ashton's liking this. Got it. All right. That's
Yep.
good. So, round two probably happens, and after that, her cell phone starts ringing. So she gets up and like kind of grabs the towel or the cloth to her body as she picks up the phone. She's like, "What is it?" Okay, that's fine. In the room. I'll be there shortly. Hangs up and she kind of leans down and sort of just crawls over on top of you again. And she's just like, as much as I would love to stay here, unfortunately, there's no rest for the wicked. I'll be off.
That's all right. I should be heading out soon as well.
Well, you know where to find me, and don't be a stranger, Mr. Hughes.
I would never. See you around.
See ya. All right, so where are you going? This beautiful morning.
All right, time to go tell Connor how awesome it was. Time to brag.
I need to brag.
It's rather odd because as a snake, you have no desire to communicate with anything, but as a human, you just want to go blab to everyone about it.
Mm-hmm. That is a thing that happens. So, Connor, are you? I suppose you're still at the club in the morning.
Club?
Yes. LeBlanc's. I believe you were there in the morning.
Oh, yes. Yes. You're right.
So you probably get a text from Ashton being like, "Hey, where are you?"
Alright. Respond something like, I'm at LeBlanc's. Because,
Ashton's like, "I'll be right there."
So, Connor, you are there with Elizabeth. I believe so. After the conversation. And it's Ashton. He's apparently either he's not dead or he's dead and someone's using his phone.
yeah. I mean, it is Vegas. Identity theft? That never happens. So yeah. So I just got a text from Ashton.
What's going on?
Sorry, I have no idea what you just said.
What's going on?
Ashton's headed over here right now. So he's not dead. Probably. I hope.
That's good. Wait here for Ashton. I'm gonna go talk to Trixie.
Alright.
So you are heading on out, and you head into the back room. You can hear a conversation, and then a door close, and then as you're walking down, Regina comes out the other door and looks at you. She goes, "Oh, Elizabeth, just who I was looking to see. Can you tell me what's happening?"
What specifically?
Well, I just had a very angry Trixie in here, complaining very loudly that you don't trust her.
I didn't say that I didn't trust her. She and
No. Sorry, continue.
Lorelai were getting into a heated discussion because Victor has poisoned Trixie's mind to wizards.
Regina kind of nods. He will tend to do that, yes. Hello, Steph?
What?
You just went silent, so I didn't know if you were saying anything.
I'm having a hard time hearing it.
Yeah, you're kind of cutting in and out.
I'm able to hear Brandon just fine, but Steph was cutting out.
Yeah.
Same.
Internet strikes again.
Apparently, we're on the same internet.
Yes,
Oh.
but you're wired into it, remember?
No, I'm not. I'm running through my phone.
So just technology in general, then.
What was the last thing that you said?
She said, yes, Victor will tend to do that.
I don't know what happened. I was trying to smooth things over with our ally because I didn't want Trixie throwing unnecessary blame on top of the insults that she had already thrown. I was coming to apologize to her.
Regina kind of nods. She goes, I think give her a little time and then go see her. I'll make sure everything's handled till then. All right.
All right.
She needs a moment to cool off, so she's not, say, so overheated.
All right, I understand.
She smiles and puts her hand on your shoulder. She goes, other than that, what's been going on? I've been dealing with other issues.
Lorelai said that the food critic went off with Velda. She thought things were going well. Connor said that Ashton did go off with Miss Bass. He is on his way over here now, though.
Well, that's good.
Connor apparently got himself entangled with Josiah.
Hmm.
After the conversation that I had with him, I don't think he's going to be keen on working with us in the future.
Why is that?
Because I was trying to protect my friends and Trixie from his influence.
Ah, okay. So why would that make him unwilling to work?
Because I lied to him.
You lied to him. What did you lie to him about?
I told him that Connor and I were the only ones in the room having the discussion about Connor's deal with Josiah. And I refused to back down from that.
So who else would have heard?
Trixie and Lorelei.
She nods. That was very well. We will have to deal with this, I suppose. What is it he wanted you to do?
He wants all of us to aid him in taking over Arcadia. I told him that I would help him with that, but I wasn't going to force that upon anyone else.
What deal have you made with him?
That I wouldn't tell anyone associated with Arcadia what he has planned.
I think the actual agreement you made was that he would what's it called be in charge of Arcadia. He wanted you to say you wouldn't tell anyone, but I don't think that actually got struck in the deal.
Yeah, I don't think any deal technically got struck.
I think you did. From what I remember, you had said that he would be the one who would be in charge. That's what you promised, but I could have been wrong.
Perhaps Connor would be better suited to explaining it, since he's the one that originally struck the bargain with him.
I have a feeling we should get everyone in the room to figure out what's going on. This may mean that you need to call Josiah in so he can see what's been agreed to. At least you should know what the Fae believes you have agreed to. Can you get me at least that information?
I really don't know, because the way the conversation ended between he and I, he didn't want to have anything to do with me. I don't know what he said to Connor after Connor took the phone back.
One second.
You okay, Brandon?
Okay, I'm just having some pain issues. I'll be back in a bit.
Hello. I'm so sorry about that. Sorry, what'd you say?
No worries.
All right. So we're gonna cut from that scene. Steph is doing some things right now to help with the everything. So we're gonna cut from that scene a little bit. And Connor, you're still sitting outside?
Yeah.
All right. Velia, what are you doing right now?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Did Velia do anything last week? Because I wasn't here.
No, she kind of just stopped. This is the night after the show. So.
Oh, okay.
We can have your character come in a bit. How about that? All right.
That sounds like a good idea.
So we're gonna ramp up to her doing it. So, but for right now, I'm gonna go with Connor. All right, Connor.
All right.
So you see Elizabeth walk into the back, and then a moment later, Regina comes out, and she's like, Elizabeth is handling something. Mr. Clemens, I was told that I could get some information on what went down from you.
You mean with
With everything.
I wanted to say Lucky's father, but it's Lucky's grandfather. That's right. Yeah. Well, I can report what's going on with Ashton, but he'll be able to tell you more because he's on his way over right now.
Good. While we're alone, you tell me what's happened with you.
Well, he'll basically try to say about. I'm trying to remember the exact limits of what I can say, or if the bargain's now different because it's a new bargain. God, Fey rules. Oh my god. Ugh.
I mean, you can definitely say that you made a bargain without breaking the bargain, really. Kinda. Probably.
Alright.
Or allude to it, so.
Okay. Are you referring to Josiah?
I'm referring to everything.
Okay.
She goes over to the bar. She pours you a drink of water. She comes back and sets it in front of you.
Okay. God. Supernatural stuff is all still so new.
She knows it takes a while to get used to it. So what has happened?
I found out that, aside from finding out that supernatural things are real, I found out never try to outsmart a leprechaun.
That is usually a losing proposition, but not always.
Yeah. And let's see. Candy was. Oh yeah, I can report some on Candy Bass, I guess, but I don't know what I can go into on because I 100% certain out of character that she's White Court. In character, she might be. Damn it. Yeah, I don't know what else to report on, is the thing.
All right. So, what happened just now? From what I've heard from Elizabeth, you spoke to her about a deal, and then she took the phone over,
Yeah.
and you let her take the phone over.
Well, I'd not been massively aware of the history. And
You are someone who's the one who struck your deal in the first place, correct?
yeah. I was afraid I'd put my foot in my mouth and mess things up worse than I've already messed them up.
And so instead, you had my cousin do that for you.
Shit.
I am not pleased.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that it is something that can be resolved. You have found yourself in a bit of a pickle. While you are my friend and my ally, I do not pay all of my allies' debts. They are usually paid on their own. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You are free to make whatever deals and whatever bargains you see fit, Mr. Clement. But you are going to be held to them.
Fair enough.
After all, my word in the supernatural is somewhat tied to that. If I go around helping you break your deals, then no one will want to deal with me, for I break my word.
Fair enough. Yeah. I'll probably have to stick to my original bargain then.
It's always good to deliver on a deal you've made with.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes you can alter the deal, and sometimes other deals can be made, but those need to be handled with care. I will handle it. Elizabeth cares about you. She cares about everyone. She
Yeah.
is a good person.
Yeah, she is. She is genuinely a good friend. And yeah. Having someone try to get me out of my own problems is not something a good friend would do.
Don't be too hard on yourself. We do rely on our friends.
I hadn't even thought about it at the time,
Yep.
but
She was helping you out, got her in trouble. But yeah. Hopefully, when she gets back, she'll be able to.
Okay.
Check. But yeah. So Ashton, it's around this time you walk in.
Yes. So, like, oh my god, how do you humans get anything done?
Regina kind of looks back at you and goes, "You have a man. You have a look of a man who has just enjoyed the company of a very lovely woman about."
You're right, but it just the word's understated on so many levels. Like, you don't get it when you're a snake. You're just on the ground. You smell the pheromones and you follow them and you do the thing and it's over. With like, as a human, you just want it all the time. How do you do things? How do you function?
Regina kind of laughed.
Very impressive you guys managed to, go from straw huts to this. It's not that everyone here is human, but still. So,
Mostly human.
Connor, I should apologize. I was talking about how I met you, and I may have accidentally mentioned something about how you have a relationship with Ian. I know that's not something you wanted everyone to know about, so...
I mean, since I'm basically on break from my whole career and my agent isn't telling, or not agent, manager, something like that, isn't telling me what to do, doesn't bother me too much, because I start thinking about it. But yeah. Well, you know what? I'm not mad. I'm willing to be forgiving on this, but man, you really got a blabbermouth.
You're right, I'm sorry. This is...
It's fine.
This whole keeping secret things is kind of new to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been a human for a few years, just that I haven't had too many close friends.
Hey, I understand.
I have a lot of experience running away from debt collectors, but...
Oh shit, debt collectors. Snake out the window. Yeah, I understand. Now that
I'm,
starting to understand about the supernatural worlds. Yeah.
See, I
So-
did try to ask a few, hopefully innocent questions about Candace, about her situation while she was there. And, she's, unsurprisingly, has one of the largest suites in the high rise, of the, crap, what's it called? The Alabaster? But when I asked her about it, she said it seems like she doesn't have to pay for the room, so she might have a closer relationship with the owners than we previously thought. I'm not sure it's going to be feasible to sort of get her out of there. I mean, free is hard to beat.
This is true. Alright. Learn anything else?
Not really, no. She was still in her room, so I wasn't able to snoop around or anything. It makes sense. The strange person you picked up last night probably wouldn't leave them alone with your stuff.
This is
Even
true.
I picked up on that much.
See? You're starting to learn more about humans already.
I have learned so much in the past few hours. So much.
God damn it, that was I was not expecting that comeback. Holy shit. I'll bet. I don't know what else to say to that.
It's okay. It's all right. We'll have to re-strategize. But yeah, I think overall I've had a amazing evening and morning.
Sorry, I just thought of a joke. Are little snakes becoming a man? It's like, oh my god, why? Ugh. I was gonna say that in character, but no. No. I draw the line at too cheesy. Oh man. Alright then. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
right.
I didn't know she didn't want to talk about her work at all. So I'm not sure if that's just a professional sort of thing or if she has something to hide or not. It's hard to say. I should probably mention I'm not a great judge of character, so
Yeah.
there's no way for me to know if she was just trying to hide something or not.
Hello, Manfrey is here. This is great. You're just in time.
Good.
Oh no, that's gonna be good.
There.
Let's throw more chaos in the mix.
Velia,
Yes.
you were getting a phone call from Regina asking you to meet her at the what's it called the place, and we're going to discuss everything that's going. All right.
Okay.
And we're going to figure out what we're going to do moving forward because Carnival is set to start in a day or two. So, big thing. So, Steven, you missed a little bit, but you're getting a call also saying, hey, you need to show up and we'll fill you in on things. All right?
All right. I'll show up.
All right. That's good. I'm getting a little echo through Travis's mic, I believe.
I can mute myself.
It's not often, but sometimes it happens. So, Velia, you walk in.
Mm-hmm.
You see Connor and Ashton sitting there with Regina. Manfrey, you arrive a little later.
Okay.
Everyone's back here. Oh, by the way, so there's been a minor character tweak with Ashton. He is now officially a snake who became a person, not a person who becomes a snake.
Okay. That's definitely interesting.
Yes, and Ashton has probably told you this. Ashton has been rather free with this secret. By the way, Travis, was there a different face you wanted? We've been using this placeholder face for him for a while.
Yeah, I'd have to probably look up stuff.
That's the thing. Anyway, so Manfrey,
Yes.
you walk in seeing two lovely ladies and two stellar gentlemen in there. One of them looks like he was rode hard and put away wet.
Okay.
His name is Ashton.
Alrighty.
In fact,
So,
as you get closer, Ashton smells of ladies' perfume. And he probably has more than one hickey.
more than one what?
Hickey.
Okay.
Possibly a love bite or two.
Ah. So he's definitely fresh with the ladies.
Delia, you noticed this also.
Hard not to.
Mm-hmm. Elizabeth, are you around?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you were really low there for a second.
Is that better?
That is better, yeah. By the way, there's a chip for you because things happened. All right, so a few seconds later, Trixie walks in, followed by Elizabeth. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. And then a few moments later, a car pulls up, and Lucky steps out, and he walks in. He's like, "All right, I'm here. What's going on? I heard that there was an emergency, and I needed to come." He looks at Elizabeth and goes, "You okay?"
She's staring hungrily at Ashton. It's like, yeah, I'm okay.
Wait. She's staring hungrily at him?
Yeah. Lucky looks at Ashton, looks at her, looks back at Ashton, looks at her, and goes, "The Snake Man?" Regina just goes, "Everyone calm and sit down."
But he smells so good.
Huh? What?
He's a little slow.
She looks at Connor and goes, "You didn't give him any pheromones or anything, did you?"
Pheromones? Nah.
What's in the perfumes that is on him, actually? Because some perfumes are made with pheromones.
That's true. What the?
So Elizabeth sits down. She goes, "So if the look of Ashton is to say anything, his side of the mission was a success, and from what I've heard from Elizabeth, her side of the mission so far has been a success also."
Sure. If by success you mean putting my foot in my mouth.
I mean, didn't you and Lorelai handle the interest of the other high roller?
No.
No, that would be Velia.
Oh, my apologies, Philly.
No offense taken, the plan sort of changed when we realized what style the restaurant would need to be.
Very well. But I hear that went well.
It seemed to.
I mean, admittedly, in fact, we can probably say that you were in with the discussion of where the restaurant would be in Arcadia and opening all that up, and seeing that he gets a suite inside of Arcadia now, so that's a good thing, you know.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it went very well then.
Mm-hmm. So we seem to have a slight predicament on our hands. Ashton, tell us a little about Candace, if you will. What have you learned from her?
I've learned that one, she's amazing in bed. Two, that she has some sort of arrangement where she doesn't have to pay for her extremely large apartment in Alabaster or suite. And three, she didn't want to talk about her work.
I see.
Those are the only things that really popped into mind. She was more interested to learn about me than to talk about her own life.
I see. Do we have any pictures of this elusive individual?
Sorry, you kind of cut out there.
Do you have any pictures of this elusive individual?
Connor, please tell me you took her picture.
I knew I was forgetting to do something.
You didn't even make a recording of anything either?
Shit, I don't have any
Nah, let's
craftsmanship.
just totally just do a declaration to say you remembered to do that.
Oh yeah, you can do that in this system.
Can we?
You can spend a chip to totally say, I did a thing. Like, that's what chips are halfway for. No, I did a thing.
Okay. I'll spend the chip for that. To say, I don't know, I took a picture with my phone or something.
You took a picture while we were busy making out at the theater. She would have noticed. If there was an opportune time to do it, that would have been it.
Yeah. Alright. Then yeah. I'll pay a chip for that.
Alright, so he pulls out his phone and he starts showing around the picture, and Regina takes it and looks at it really careful, then shows it to Elizabeth. She goes, "What do you see in this picture?" It's a picture of Candace sitting on Ashton's lap, you know.
Alertness or investigation roll?
Uh-huh.
Which one?
Oh, it would be investigation.
I mean, she looks pretty.
Yeah, she does look pretty. Anyone else want to make an investigation roll?
I will.
You do not want me to.
Yeah, unfortunately, ones are not going to cut it. Monica just got really unlucky there. All right, so
Seriously.
you're all there. You're all there looking at the picture, and Regina goes. She's like, "I'd recognize that face anywhere." Ashton, I'd like you to meet my younger sister,
Huh?
No.
Candace Otto.
That explains the room. And the secretiveness. Oh boy.
Now that she's pointed it out, everyone can see that, especially you, Elizabeth, you're like, oh yeah, she does kind of look like a younger version of Regina with way more tattoos. And so this changes things a little.
How so?
She's my sister. We are literally feeding one of our allies to one of the daughters, one of the White Court. She isn't just a woman, she's a succubus.
That explains a lot.
Explains why he smelled so good to Elizabeth.
It's not like we give off a scent, really. It's more like Elizabeth just probably likes her same perfume or something.
Does that mean I don't get to sleep with her anymore?
How attached are you to your soul, Mr. Hughes?
I'd like to think reasonably attached.
I can't even believe you asked that question.
He will slowly and slowly eat away your soul. Particularly if you don't love her.
That is pretty harsh.
Booty calls with a succubus sometimes don't end well.
So we just get them both to fall in love with each other, and that solves all the issues.
Very difficult. It has to be true love. You can't force true love. It has to grow on its own. It cannot be coerced. Any coerced love is not true love. Hopefully, Mr. Hughes hasn't made too big of a mark on her. If he does, well, she may be coming after him no matter what.
That's a little terrifying, but still intriguing.
Holy shit.
Still. One must be careful. I would prefer we not use and manipulate my own sister. Yes, she's likely working for my father, but she never really liked him all that. Her and Delicia were always distant. Gwendolyn was very much more daddy's little girl.
Interesting. So, wait, she is somewhat distant. Doesn't that mean she's a possible candidate for someone who might turn on him in the future?
It's possible, but she's working with him. Apparently, she's one of his high rollers.
True.
There's something there.
Hmm.
She never really wanted to be a writer. She used to make some stories and things. She liked having attention. Are you certain we've not been hoodwinked?
Hmm. This is an
She
elusive.
kind of looks at Velia and goes, How certain are you that your invitations got to the right person? Velia? Monica?
Wonder if she forgot if she's muted.
Happened to me multiple times. So
There's been a couple times where I've started talking and forgot that I was muted.
Maybe she stepped away. I'm sorry. All right.
I had not even considered that possibility. But it was like, we have a reclusive writer that no one knows what she looks like. Could be a fake, or could have all been a ploy the whole time.
Turns to Elizabeth. What do you think, my dear?
I think that, I mean, it might be a possibility that your father slipped his daughter in, but I think it feels more unlikely. I mean, yes, Velia was at the opening of LeBlanc's, but he doesn't necessarily know what we have planned.
Elizabeth nods. Very good. Lucky kind of nods and puts his hand on your shoulder and goes, "Yeah, that's a thing too." So,
I mean, I think if he was behind this play, it's unlikely that she would have brought him back to the Alabaster.
true. Or if she did, she should have pressed harder for more information. Did she seem like she was trying to figure out anything from you, Mr. Hughes?
I don't think so. Her questions are very general, not specific. I can't know for sure though.
General as in what? Like, what do you do? Who are your
Yes.
friends? So she was asking.
As part of the story, I told her that I was a park ranger, and that I was friends with Connor.
Okay, so are you not friends with Connor? She kind of is giving you this weird look back and forth, like.
Oh, we are. That was true.
Right. So you didn't completely lie. All right. Okay. So you're not a park ranger, but you are friends with.
Yes. We'll probably be a good park ranger though.
You would be the best park ranger. If anything got into trouble, you just turn into a snake. And they find you naked in the forest somewhere.
I can't just always turn into a snake. We have predators.
Of course, when one of those predators comes and attacks you and you turn into a man, that predator is going to be very, very upset.
Will.
Don't they just tell people not to start fires?
I think
Yeah.
primarily.
I thought that was a bear. Anyway.
What does a bear have to do with fires?
I get it.
Prevent forest fires? I thought it was a thing.
Well, I mean, snakes aren't even considered symbols for fire. That's the salamander.
How do you have that random piece of tertiary knowledge?
Annette.
Fair enough.
Mystical symbols, yeah, that makes sense, actually.
Fair enough.
Monica, are you back yet?
I think
Yeah, it doesn't look like. Isn't that always the way, though? Step away for a second, and that's the second you need.
Yeah.
The adaptation of Murphy's Law.
So the question is, what do we do with this information? You're dating my sister. Not that I don't think you're a lovely catch, Mr. Hughes, but I'm more concerned for you and for her.
It's understandable. I don't want to have my soul eaten. I'm not sure exactly how critical. Well, actually, I would know that, but
It
that
grows back.
souls grow back.
Yes, they do. They constantly are replenished. It's slow time. It does.
So, if we are intimate too often, then the damage could be permanent.
Well, it's always permanent.
Or if she eats you very, very hard, then you'd be gone in one go.
That is pretty scary.
So, the question is, what do we want to do from here? We have found out some information. How do we wish to proceed? Thoughts, ideas? She kind of looks around at everyone as if to be like, I would love I would love ideas and thoughts.
well, I mean, he could actually try to court her for real and to win her over.
Looks at Astrid and goes, "Do you think you'd be up to that task?"
I don't know. I've never done this before. She seems nice enough, though it's kind of hard. I'm not sure if I'm an unbiased source.
Would you
Well,
want
you'd
to
probably mess with her
permanently
more.
be attached?
So the more she feeds from you, the more addicted to her you're going to get.
Is there a way to keep him from getting addicted?
Yes, he cuts off the relationship.
Okay.
Good.
Hmm.
Because on the one hand, it'd be nice to have another ally on our side. On the other hand, I kind of don't want my friend to have his soul sucked out.
I'd like to keep my soul.
Yeah. I mean, I like you. You're a cool person. And also, you don't kill me, but I like you. And I don't
You
want
are a good man, Charlie Brown.
exactly. But shit. I don't know. Yeah, we're left with two real paths here, which makes it all the harder.
And Regina
Sorry.
was just or
Sorry, guys.
it's all right. Welcome back. So the question was asked is how certain you were that Candace is actually Candace, the actual author. And what you would know, because you're there, is you sent through the channels, so you went through official channels. Maybe someone intercepted it because were you here for the revelation that Candace is what is Regina's daughter, or Regina's
Yeah.
sister, not
Sister.
daughter.
Yeah, that's essentially, I would have sent through the proper channels to make it look official and unassuming. But here's the thing. Authors have their pictures on their books.
Some authors do, some don't.
And some don't. Some keep it reclusive.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough, I guess. But
And some may also have fake images.
I mean, that's fair. I do feel like this is a thing we could just look up somewhere.
I mean, if does someone have access to a computer and would like to, or like a smartphone and want to Google Candace Bass and see if they have any pictures?
I mean, she gives interviews, so it's not like you can say that she's a reclusive author because there was an interview with her in the newspaper thing that we read.
Yeah, roll scholarship.
Basically, anyone who wants to take out their phone and start looking roll scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
I will do that. Granted, I do not have high scholarship, but hey. Yeah, the dice are really unforgiving tonight.
And her last name is Bass, Bass.
Yes.
Okay. I'll send you the image.
I'm confused.
Me too.
I'm also confused. Are you actually Googling Candace Bass?
Holy crap.
Amazing.
I have to give you credit for that.
Well, he said if anybody wants to pull out a smartphone.
I think he meant our characters, but I think that's amazing.
I know. I was doing it for fun.
That's pretty great. So yeah,
Smart ass.
I believe he said for scholarship. Scholarship
Yes.
roll.
Oh, my computer
I love
died.
you guys.
You too, Steven. So glad to have you back. You too,
Okay.
Monica. It's good to have you back.
Yeah, I wish that they would, not call me on my days off, but
I know.
they actually made
I
me
would,
call a customer. Ugh.
And if work or life is too much, I understand that also.
Yeah.
Work and life is more important than game.
I just wish life would stop happening to me.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
I have a very frequent saying is that I don't even need my life to be good. I just need it to be like uneventful for a while.
Yes, I will agree with that.
I don't need anything good to happen to me. I just need nothing to happen to me.
All right, so
All right.
So Monica might get this, but my initial thought as Steph is, could she not pass? And it's like, well, she's too attractive to be a romance novel author.
Oh,
too attractive to be a romance novel author.
I actually had that thought too. Absolutely. Speaking of Steph, have you heard about the current romance novel drama? Super out of game, off topic.
No, I have not.
We will have to talk about it after the game is over because it's amazing. There are lawsuits. It's terrible.
So yeah, the one photo I submitted is what I got on my roll.
They really need more points of investigation.
Yeah, you're like, it's totally not her. And Regina looks at it and goes, "That's totally not Candace Bass, the author."
With a -1, that comes up appropriate with what I submitted.
I know. Yeah, that's the reason. Regina just goes, "No, you're not."
Wait, are we rolling scholarship or investigation?
Scholarship.
Okay.
Travis gets a 5. Travis, you search Candace Bass on your phone? Yeah, there are several. You find several pictures and several interviews with that woman that you intimately know and had sex with. I just read the thing. Rolls for a snake is better at Googling than y'all. You're right. To be fair, this is how you've learned about most of the world, Travis.
Oh, I've been muted this whole time. God damn it. I was saying I was rolling. That was an investigation, not a scholarship, so it's actually a 2.
All right, it's a 2. 2 is
So it's a yeah.
So yeah, no, that's totally her. I mean, if it's a con, it's a very long con. Like, so you did get the right Candace Bass, apparently.
Yeah, this matches up with the woman I met.
So Regina kind of nods. She goes, "The question we have to ask is not only if Ashton is going to continue with Candace, but how forward do we want to be with Candace? Because I could reach out to her and try to have her come here and we could have a conversation, or possibly Elizabeth, you could do that."
I'm sorry, what am I doing?
Regina is basically saying that you guys could keep trying to play her, or you could try to just up and contact her as, "Hey sis, how about we catch up? Come and see me," kind of.
The latter is probably the safer bet, especially if Ashton really likes her.
Does he like her, or does he just want her in bed?
The two feelings are difficult to separate.
I suppose we could send in the gypsy to see what he could see.
I feel like Ashton probably doesn't know enough about her to really say he likes her. And she wouldn't tell him
Kind of looks at Ashton and goes, "Do you like her?"
I think so.
He looks back at Velia. I think he's made up his mind. Men are like
That's fair. Buddy, stop it.
That is something that we could do, is have you, Elizabeth, and someone go in and see what she's up to and all that, come at her straight, or we could continue trying to play the sideways game. That's what we have. Anyone have any more thoughts on that, or should we discuss another matter? She says as she kind of looks aside. Oh, sorry, he looks at Connor.
What's the other matter?
Oh,
I think we should straight talk her.
Yeah, based on my character. Yeah, I kind of lean more towards that as well.
She looks at Elizabeth. What's your thoughts on the matter?
I think it's a better play. It may be a little more difficult. I mean, it's not like you or I just walk into the alabaster and, bump into her.
We come at her straight and figure out what's going on. Ashton, what do you think about this?
I know that I'm not a great liar, so being honest would play to my strengths.
And if your honesty makes her not want to see you again?
Well, it's probably for the best, I guess.
Probably for the best that she thinks you're a liar. Interesting.
Huh?
I asked you that if this happened and she thought you were a liar and upset that you deceived her in some way and didn't want to see you again, you said, well, it'd probably be for the best.
Okay, that's how you're interpreting it.
Is that not what you meant? Elucidate, tell me.
So what you said, so you're saying she might not believe us if we're being upfront.
No,
we're talking about you.
But the thing is, you are the one who apparently lied to her and tricked her into bed. That's something that many women would not be, say, too fond of.
Well then, yeah. It's the truth. I'd rather not keep up that deception anyways.
No, she kind of looks at Velia. Any counterpoints that you would want to have? It seems like we're mostly in agreement, but if you have any information that would say this is obviously a bad idea, that could open the discussion again.
I mean, what level of truth are you planning to tell?
I believe the plan would be we call her in and we see if she's willing to work as an ally. I believe, Elizabeth, you were looking at other sisters of mine to see who would possibly turn.
I just would be careful because it seems like she might go warn them of plans if she's not susceptible, seeing as they're essentially paying for her life.
Very possible.
Definitely a risk.
Is that a risk we want to take, though? Velia has brought up a point. It is a risk.
I
It's very-
mean, potentially what a middle ground might be to genuinely invite her over to catch up and just feel her out.
And she kind of smiles and goes, I think Ashton's felt her out very much.
Inside and out.
Okay.
God.
To just see if she's... You as her sister might get more of a feel on if there's actual loyalty involved in this situation, or more just greedily taking free gifts, you know? She might be more forthcoming about where her money's coming from with someone who's in the family than she would be with a guy she met that day.
She kind of nods. That does depend. That might be something that Ashton might be able to get out of her if he kept going. But again, the longer we keep the deception up, the worse.
Well, and that's my point, is that I think you catching up with her and seeing as her sister isn't a deception. You genuinely are catching up and seeing how things are going for her.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to decide every step right this moment.
No, but this is very much the next step.
Yes. Well, there is another option.
Well, what is this other option?
Well, Ashton could possibly be actually upfront himself with her a little bit. I mean, if he really does like her, state that he was afraid to tell her the truth initially because he's been scared of getting close to someone. And then actually start telling the truth then. Showing that he trusts her.
Trusts her with what?
Who he really is.
A spy working against her father?
Well, he doesn't have to bring that up yet.
Or a former snake.
That he's not an actual park ranger, but start going into what he really is. You know, what his actual profession is.
Her eyes kind of light up. I go, oh, that is an interesting...
And just use the shy card.
Very interesting.
Ashton, how would you feel about that?
I know where you're going with it, but doesn't that just make it worse if we ever decide to tell her that, we're working against her father?
Well,
it's
you
like
can
you're
flat
lying
out
twice at that point.
Here's the thing. If she asks what you feel about her father, you can say, I don't particularly care for him, but I do care for you. And that is the truth, is it not?
Well, I mean, we met yesterday. It's not a fabrication, but...
Yeah, so Regina kind of looks at you. So you slept with my younger sister without caring for her. Is that what you said?
I think unless we're going to commit fully to just lying to her forever, it's best to not continue to lie through Ashton unless we've committed to that. If that makes sense.
Regina nods. That does make sense.
It does make sense, yeah.
We're going to end up hurting him as much as her. And we're not in this to hurt our own allies.
She kind of nods. She goes, yeah, that is very true.
Yeah.
So if we're going to...
Ashton, you invite her out to lunch with, say, myself and Connor, or someone else, to get to know her, give me time to get a read on her, and then if it seems like she would be amenable to our side, then we can work on bringing her over.
Regina nods. She goes, "There's only one problem with that: is if she recognizes you as yourself, Elizabeth. It's highly probable she knows your face. And if Ashton invites her to a lunch with a very physically imposing man who could hurt people with the drop of a hat, and you, who are another white-clawed vampire, can very easily see that this is a trick."
That's a good point.
It's not without merit. It's a good idea.
I think it would be better for a sister to catch up with her sister.
I think that's a thing that I'll need to do eventually anyway, but I think also
I was
having
talking.
Ashton take point on this might be bad. Not to say that you wouldn't be amazing, Elizabeth. Just I am afraid if she sees your face, she might grab it. Does that make sense?
It does. I just worry that Ashton may be too smitten to be able to get a proper read on her.
Well, we could do it in a place where we can observe remotely.
You want to bring her by for a reading, Ashton?
That's something.
Or Manfrey, yes. Manfrey, you do know how to read people, don't you?
Yes. I can read people very quickly. Makes the con easier.
And you said, Ashton, you had already told her that Connor has a boyfriend, correct?
Yes.
Perhaps
Wait.
Connor and Ashton could have a double date with Connor's boyfriend, and she puts her hand on Manfrey's shoulder.
Fudge.
Possibly.
I was more thinking about you bring her over to the shop for a reading.
Why not both?
But then you don't have to pretend to be Connor's boyfriend.
Wait. Okay, I misunderstood the situation. I was going, I wonder what Ian's schedule is, because we can all go over to his shop. Wait a minute. Oh, no.
This is something to discuss and hammer the details out later. There is another issue, as Velia talked of us not hurting our allies. We have a decision we need to make.
Yeah.
Velia.
Yes.
What is your feeling about the status of Arcadia? If I might be so bold as to ask.
About I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
The status of Arcadia. If I may be so bold as to ask.
What do you mean by status?
How it's currently being run. The person in charge.
To be frank, I don't really Have as I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. I apologize. I think my loyalty is taken as fact, but I honestly don't think I really have any strong feelings about it at all.
We have a situation. Several of our number have become embroiled with an individual seeking to, say, shake things up.
Well, I'm not stupid. I know who this is.
Of course. But you see, by me telling you a name, I may be breaking an oath.
Well,
but by
I
not
think
telling you the name and you simply guessing the name or inferring the name, no oath might be broken. In fact, we're only discussing possibilities after all.
Right. This is hypothetical, of course. Sometimes a shakeup is good for a place, sometimes it's not. Do you want me to say his name, or are we just going to understand that we don't know what we're talking about?
We can understand. Hypothetically, we have the up-and-comer, who's technically part of the old guard, but not part of the new hotness, shall we say.
Sometimes a shakeup is good, but sometimes if the old guard was replaced, there's probably a reason. And to not forget that.
Like he goes, are we talking about my granddad?
Are you asking if I'm going to get in the way?
Not at all. I wouldn't want to do anything against you. You are part of the team.
Oh.
We are all together. It's not a move or get out of the way. It's deciding where we want our chips to fall. Because there are several options.
I know
Continue, Monica, sorry.
This isn't dialogue. Part of my character that we built is that I play the game just for the sake of playing it. So,
yes, that's another thing I knew about your character when I brought this in, is that your character might be
okay, just reiterating that. And the fact that, like, with given my backstory with Lorelai, that I have clout that's not necessarily related to Velda.
Yeah.
Okay. Just verifying some of my character. It's been a long time. Okay. Okay, then I'd probably respond with something like, I help with things that interest me. Of
course.
And I'm not necessarily against a changing of the guard, so to speak. My work at the theater is really just a day job to please my mother. Other than that, I consider myself a free agent.
You serve the one who's currently in power, which is good. A little mercenary for my taste. I do prefer people who have some loyalty.
I do, when it's warranted. I'm loyal to this alliance because I've given my word and agreed to be.
Regina kind of nods. That is perhaps the best answer I've ever heard to such a very dangerous question. Otherwise, the issue at hand is, are decisions to be made are we going to support the up and comer to take the throne? Are we going to support the one currently in power to stay there? Or are we truly going to shake things up? Because it's quite possible that neither one of them remains. That we play for a shakeup, but do not put the person who specifically wants the shakeup on the throne in the end. Perhaps a lovely Sylph lounge singer.
I think that the thing you do is continue to pretend you don't know who these players are and think about who's willing to help the most with the actual shakeup, or who's giving you the most, and also who's going to use your gift that you're giving them in a way that you find acceptable.
Currently, as far as I understand it, neither one of them are giving us much of anything.
Well, right, which is kind of my point. I don't know that. I mean, I will say, and this is in no way me saying that it means they should be who we assist, but the current people running it did help by dealing with that one VIP last minute when our ally backed out of the deal, sort of.
When plans changed, they did step up. That is true.
However, it's to their benefit too. So I'm not saying that necessarily means we owe them something, but just considering that they've given us something and perhaps this old guard hasn't.
I understand.
So what favors do we owe this person unless we genuinely think they do an awesome job and just want them there? What's our motivation for helping them?
Lucky snorts at that. Oh God, no.
What's our motivation to help them if they're giving us nothing and also wouldn't necessarily do a good job? Then there's going to end up being a power vacuum anyway, because if we put this hypothetical person back into power and then he does a terrible job, someone else is going to step in anyway. Eventually.
Indeed, which is why I suggested that perhaps that there could be another person.
Oh,
we don't have to pick with each one, but it looks like we are being drawn into this.
Maybe there could be a group of. Maybe part of the problem with its place is having too many single power.
So she kind of leans back. She goes, "Velia, this in your perfect world, what would it be?"
I mean, there is no such thing as a perfect world. I think I'm far too jaded for a question like that. But I think anytime you give one person that much power, corruption ensues. There's not any sort of checks or balances to any of these people who are running massive institutions as the sole leader.
But are they not currently run by 5 who share power in some way?
I mean, on paper.
On paper, it is.
What I've seen, it doesn't really. It's not necessarily. It's one of them making. Each of them has an area they work in, but only one of them seems to be making the decision.
So you would say it's more vertically integrated monopoly.
Well, and I'm speaking of the whole of Vegas.
Oh.
I am speaking of everywhere. I am saying perhaps that part of the problem, the dynamics of the city in general, is that there's too many places where it's just one person who's holding all the power. And maybe something different would be good. But that's just my opinion off the cuff without any time to dwell on it. And there's a whole group of us here.
Yeah.
So.
She turns to Connor and goes, Connor, you are involved in this. What do you want to see happen?
Honestly, I don't know a ton about Arcadia. I should probably go there sometime and just observe it. But
this is less about Arcadia. As far as we understood, Arcadia is a rock. All right?
All right.
It is a rock that someone wants to stand on top.
All right. And as for Vegas, well, she has a good point with the power being split.
It's like 3 people who run the whole thing.
Yeah. It's almost like we need like a not committee, but because that
Council?
yeah, that's not far off. I mean, I know that a council or a committee doesn't do the perfect job, but
or more of a syndicate.
I believe that's very much what we've founded here.
Yeah.
Many of our people are not present, but I am sure most of them are very familiar with the running of syndicates.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Honestly, I don't think that's the worst idea, and I think shaking up Vegas some would be a good thing.
Indeed, but that's a little far afield from what I am asking. Because the issue at hand is that a certain individual has hawk over your soul, as I understand it, Connor. And true, it's possible I might be able to strike a bargain with him to get him to release you from what's going on, but I need to know where we're going before I do that. You made a deal with the man. Do you particularly like the man?
I'll give him one thing. He makes a very good first impression, but first impressions don't tend to last too long, it seems. So, my personal feelings towards him? I don't particularly care for the man. I will say, if we needed someone who was very talented with words and entrapping people, he's pretty damn good. But other than that, yeah. Nah. I don't particularly like him.
She looks over at Elizabeth. And what are your feelings on the matter?
I don't particularly care for him. I mean, perhaps...
Lucky raises his hand and goes seconded.
Perhaps part of the reason that he dislikes Velda in charge is because he has no love for her. That perhaps if we instill or put someone in charge of Arcadia that he did like, he would have less of an issue.
Yeah, Lucky snorts. He's like, that guy doesn't love anyone. Barely loves me.
How about somebody he could tolerate easier?
That would be someone who's under his thumb.
I'm sure he loves you. I mean, he came to you lucky to get him to clean up his mess.
Mess? What mess?
The poker tournament?
That's not me cleaning up his mess. That's him making some play. All right?
Yeah, he didn't really ask permission. He just kind of assumed you would do it. From my perspective, anyway.
No, he didn't talk to me about it. He's making some kind of play with that. I don't think it's a mess. So far, all I can see is everything's gone according to his. He has a plan for if I win and a plan for if I lose. Either way, he wouldn't have done something like this if he didn't know he was going to come out on top.
Yeah, it's a power play.
Yeah.
Basically, what I saw was someone who was strutting that he was better than everyone and could get away with murder and have no repercussions for it.
I didn't really get the impression that he had a plan B in place of if you lost. I mean, he talked about cheating to make it so that you'd win, but when I tried to express concern about Sosa being an issue, he just kind of brushed it off as if it didn't matter.
Yeah. Honey, I have a question. If Magnus Coronado came in here and asked you to explain what you were going to do, would you tell him?
That would depend on how close I was to success and if I thought I could rub his face in it.
Uh-huh. See, my grandfather's kind of like that too. The only problem is his line for being close enough to success is already having succeeded. I can promise you, he didn't tell you everything.
Even when you're sure of success, it's a classic villain mistake to give away your plan.
Exactly. My grandfather is many things, but he's the classic villain. But not in that.
Well, he's too smart to do something that basic.
Roll me scholarship, Velia.
Okay, 1 second.
Oh, you accidentally popped out of the thing. Huh?
But also, a con of that level means he may have had some of the other people that were entering the tournament, maybe deals with them.
Or he's just planning to kidnap the competition or something.
He kind of nods and points to it. He's like, he's very old school Vegas. It's highly likely anyone who's going to cause him a problem is going to be backroomed. If he's got Connor Cash Clemens in on it, guess who's going to be doing the backrooming?
Sounds about.
All right. So with a 1 in scholarship, you would know enough about the business thing to know that, like, if this wins big, he's probably going to have some success for it. But if it goes down and he leaves Arcadia holding the bag, he's left Arcadia holding the bag. So, like.
Well, I mean, I know that because of my mission from Velda.
Yeah. It's like it's very much, if he wins, he can take the credit for it. And if he loses, he can, like, it's very real way that he could just say, oh, no, well, I just bankrupted, Arcadia. Now let me come in and fix it, It could be that either way, he wins. Regina kind of sighed. This is fascinating, but it seems like we are deciding we don't want him to win. Correct?
Well, how do we make him personally liable over Arcadia itself then?
Well, that's the thing. That's still playing his game. A game he very likely has rigged. After all, only a sucker plays Arcadia. The games are all rigged.
So we need to change the game.
Mm-hmm. The solution is not likely to be in the actual arcade, the actual tournament. It's likely more of a smokescreen, something to keep us busy. If we want to win, you'd have to. I think we're going to have to take out his status.
His what?
I mean, I have an idea, but I'm not sure that I like it, and I don't know if Lucky are going to want to do it.
Regina goes, please. Any ideas, even bad ideas, are at least good for us to discuss.
It at least is a starting point of conversation. I mean, potentially you could go along with his plan, win the tournament, and then publicly call him out for not paying you. And then if it blows back on Arcadia, credit whoever we want with actually coming up with the funds. Even if they don't come up with the funds, we could say they did. And thus push whoever we wanted to into a position of power. You, as just a poker player who won a tournament, it wouldn't seem like you'd had any stake in it to be lying. People will take it as truth. And it would be a public blow to his reputation and his job.
Especially if you're calling out your own father.
But publicly, they're no relation. Like in the newspaper, it said they're not related. So,
yes, but if enough people do enough digging.
Yeah.
No, he shakes his head. No, we're not necessarily related by. I've got papers. I don't come back.
Either way, it's one option, because I do think that if ridding him of his power is a goal of this group, the bonus of something like that would be that he wouldn't be alerted of it until it's too late, because you'd just go along with his plan of winning the tournament.
Kind of nods. He's like, it's possible. Ginny goes, that has some merit to it. But what might be better, his power comes from the fact that he's currently the head of the patriarch of the leprechauns, correct? Look, kind of nods. He goes, that could be the other area we attack him. If he's attacking, I have a feeling that if we're trying to meet him at Arcadia, where I think he's built up his defenses. I think if we undermine him and go in a different direction, basically go for his knee instead of going for his shoulders.
What do you suggest?
Somehow find a way to undermine his authority as clan father of the leprechaun. Put someone else in his place, or somehow maneuver him out with death. It may be something that we need to make a deal with.
Interesting thought.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we need to know more about the leprechauns to know what it is that keeps him in that position.
I agree, and that's about the only way we'd be able to start maneuvering things too.
Would that be
mostly seniority? He's a progenitor of these people, and he's also the one who seems to take. He's also the one who takes care of the clan. If he's supposed to, and someone else took care of the clan.
Right. So if we made it impossible for him to take care of the clan, and helped some other leprechaun become the provider.
That would be difficult.
In other words, we need to find out how he's taking care of the clan.
Oy vey.
What if we convince the Leprechaun clan that he's turned his back against them and is allying with the dwarves instead, putting their interest above the dwarves' interest above the leprechauns?
Oh.
Looking nods, that would work, but we would be driving away a very powerful ally.
Wait, what ally would we be losing? Josiah won't be very powerful anymore if we do this.
The dwarves.
Oh. How? Why would that drive them away from us? We're not aiming to hurt the dwarves. Unless I'm misunderstanding Elizabeth's suggestion. It would just be informing the leprechauns that Josiah has been caring for the dwarves. We're not taking anything away by doing that.
Well, the fact that Josiah cares for the dwarves is very well known. He's very open
Right.
with caring for his allies.
Mm-hmm.
The issue would be that we'd have to say he is improperly caring for the dwarves, which would basically saying, no dwarves, you are getting too much. Which, if you tell anyone that no, they're getting too much, their response is usually, fuck you.
Oh, see, I was thinking more like saying that they're simply getting more than the leprechauns and pointing out that it's odd that Josiah is giving more to the dwarves than to his own race, to his own kind.
Indeed. But by saying that, we are also saying the dwarves are getting...
No, you're not. Just as if it was the other way around, and if Josiah was a dwarf and was giving the leprechauns more than the dwarves, that isn't saying the leprechauns don't deserve more. It's just simply pointing out that he's not supporting his own people to the same level that he is others. That doesn't mean that the other people don't deserve what they're getting.
But it doesn't mean they won't take it that way.
Yes.
Even if you're pointing out, as you say, they will probably still take it as the way she's pointing it out.
And
whether you intend it or not.
And his response is very much going to be, I'm giving the dwarves their due. Would you have me betray our ally? He will rally behind the dwarf. If we draw this battle line, we will have chosen his ally. But he will have those allies.
That makes sense.
Now, the better way to do it would be to show that he is not properly caring for anyone above himself first.
Yeah, Lucky nods. That is a better plan. Showing him making it look like he's taking a bigger cut for himself. Grift and avarice, while it is commonplace, is not something to be tolerated. For stealing from the clan to get themselves would be a thing there.
But if he's stealing from his clan and his allies, you can separate him from a greater picture.
Yes.
It's not uncommon in a lot of cons to make it seem like you're graciously helping everybody else out while you're secretly lining your pockets with more.
He kind of actually goes, does anyone know a good thief?
A good what?
A good thief. Burglar.
My skills are okay. I'm not that great, but I'm good.
Yeah,
There
we
was
need a great thief.
There was that thing in the news.
What
Oh,
thing?
yeah.
The Ghost Bandit. Have you guys heard of him? Person has broken into many high-end places. Last person was a councilwoman. I haven't caught him yet.
Huh.
Lucky Kenny, that might be what we need. If we were to get someone of that skill on our side, we could possibly frame him for stealing something important from, say, both the dwarves and another clan of leprechauns, or something.
That would definitely be a good idea.
That would besmirch his own honor.
Interesting. Question is, how do you contact a ghost thief?
I
Do
mean,
they leave a call sign?
Well, not literally a ghost.
but
Just gotta
they're
ask
not
around.
ghosts. Yeah, it says there was a figure in a black hoodie, black jeans, and black gloves. So we don't think
But
they're really a ghost.
do they have a signature pattern that they use?
That would be something I don't know. Ashton seems to be the one who knows the most about it.
I just keep up with the
Ashton-
news. We'd have to do some research on him to figure that out.
Also,
Well, we can visit the scenes where things have happened and take a look there. And
I'm sure the
see if
councilwoman will be very forgiving of us to just, roam around her house.
well, if you dress up, if you showed up dressed up as cops or something, or crime scene investigators, maybe. But yeah, all I can think to do is maybe reach out to some people, see if they have seen anything, even if it's just a small clue.
I can ask around, and I have contacts really high.
Would you like
Do
to
I
roll?
know
Does she
anyone?
have?
Do I
You
know
can-
anyone who would know anything?
I mean, that would be a contact roll.
Yeah, let me make a contacts roll.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at too.
Are there any street cameras or anything like that around the congressman's
No.
house?
Nice.
Would you like to spend any chips on that?
Sure. I'll spend a chip.
What are you tagging?
I'm going to tag.
You literally have the tag for it right there. Holy shit.
Works with powerful political forces.
All right.
That is the best contacts tag ever. Wow.
Actually, that powerful political forces probably won't help you with finding someone who's street level.
No, but I could probably find out the reports that are on it. That was my idea, is try and get a copy of all the police reports for like all 12
I mean, yeah, you can do that. No
robberies.
problem.
Because if we can find a pattern, we could maybe find the person.
I'm gonna say that tag was instead for raised in Arcadian high society in the Vegas streets.
Oh, okay.
That makes
works
sense.
then.
That actually fits better with what this is. So, with
Okay.
your I believe it's. Let me look at the ladder for a second.
My bomb contacts roll and my.
Because, yeah, I was about to roll, and then it's like, never mind.
It's actually a
Mine's
terrible roll. It's just because I have contacts up.
You have a fantastic contact. All right.
Yeah.
So you reach out to them, you ask a couple questions and things like that, and you are given the name Last Chance Pawn. You should ask about questions there. Rumor has it a few items stolen have ended up at that place.
Oh, good to know.
So, Steph has walked away to go take a shower because it's nearly 11. I think this is probably a good place to wrap up. We come with this, and now we have a good way forward. We're gonna, try to get Candace in, and also get in contact with this ghost burglar to figure out what's going on. So yeah. I know that I was gonna bring the Drapers in, but then I forgot, and time has ran away from me. And the fact that I had 2 teeth ripped out of my head yesterday really stole the planning time.
Hey, that's totally understandable.
Yeah.
No complaints here. Okay. Wait a minute. Last chance ghost. Oh my god.
What?
Ghost thief. Last chance pawn. That's a spicy pun right there. Don't know if that was intended, but
What's the pun?
ghost Last chance.
Last chance before you die and become a ghost.
If it
Where are you-
okay,
Where are you
wasn't
seeing
it
that? I don't get it.
the ghost thief? They just gave us the hint to go to Last Chance
They're-
Pawn.
They're
Oh,
fencing their goods at Last Chance Pawn. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I just wrote that down and went ghost and let. Oh my god! If that wasn't intentional, then wow, that's amazing. Anyway, sorry. That's great.
1 second.
Oh right, votes and nods and all that good stuff.
I just had a related thought.
Hmm?
And I just don't want to. I might forget by next week, so I'm going to say it now. If we do happen to find the ghost bandit, a way we could potentially get them to help us is I could use my aspect of power political forces to offer the ghost bandit, like, here's what the police already have on you. We'll tip you off
Ooh.
if you help us. We'll keep you one step ahead of them if you help us. Just a thought. As a way we could bargain if we find them.
Yeah.
Just sharing it because I may or may not be here, and if I am, I may forget. This might be my last night playing, actually, but
Aw.
I heard.
I know,
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm a 3-hour time difference, and we're getting into the busy season at work, so it's just getting harder and harder for me to be here this early.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
It's fine. I feel bad. I don't like to be a person who flakes half game. I'm still gonna try if there's days I can. But it's been pleasure playing with you guys. Otherwise,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I may be missing a couple days here and there coming up with me basically losing my house. So trying to figure out where I'm going to be going soon. So
Yeah, man.
I'm so sorry, Steven.
yep, I have till the end of the month to get out and find a place.
Oof.
End of the month, like this month.
Yes, May.
Oh,
May.
okay.
Jesus, because like
Okay.
April 30th is today.
No, I have till the end of May, but
Okay.
that's
Okay.
only 4 weeks in which
You're
to
right. You're right. That's
find a place
not better than
and
0
find
days.
money to
right?
pay for it.
0 days would not be fun.
So MVP votes for this session cannot vote for Elizabeth, and Elizabeth has voted for Ashton because how do people get anything done?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was really good.
That was a good line.
True sex.
Ashton, who are you voting for?
I will vote for. That's a hard one. Let's see. Can't remember myself. Vote for Elizabeth. I will vote for Connor for being absolutely unable to keep a straight face anytime Ashton was talking. And also for forgiving him for continually blabbing about his relationship.
So Connor,
Looks
who are
like-
you voting for?
On the plus side, it is going to force him to come to terms with it sooner. So, yeah. Shit, that's a good point. Now, part of me is tempted to vote for Ashton, but my gut wants to go with Velia. Namely because just there's an exact scene and it just flashed before my eyes and I forgot what it was. It's like I just looked into a camera. Fuck. I am gonna go with Velia because of if I can't remember what the scene is, then just because of the ideas and some of the great comments, that my mind just completely forgot everything. What the fuck?
It's late.
Who are you voting?
I'm gonna vote for I'll say Ashton too, because it was just really funny. The reaction when he came back from his morning.
All right, so Manfrey, who are you voting for?
Ashton, because of just everything going on with Candace and pretty much him becoming man bait.
He also may
Ashton
suffer some real
Man-bait.
consequences from this too, so
Yeah.
Yes. Oh God.
Congratulations, Ashton, Mr. Manbait. You have once again won VIP.
We
Take your chip and your little award trophy to sit there on your face. And then please give me the nods for which characters you enjoyed this session, or which ones you want to see, or who are you nodding to this thing? Is it just two NPCs, one or two NPCs, and it doesn't have to be straight up. It can be.
Yeah, I already chose who I have to give them to. Wow, I timed that well.
Matthew Ward, because we need more wizards.
I mean, if you need more wizards, you could just go to Frederick. I hear there's a lot of them up there.
You really want Matt Ward to show up?
Oh, good lord. I'm there. I thought someone from Coronado was a wizard, but I might be going crazy. That was a really good line.
yeah, that was a zinger.
Oh man. A little part of me wanted to give some to the Drapers, but just because I have this feeling they're going to play a very pivotal role soon. I don't know why I think that. I think the Arcadia saga is going to be very interesting, but I know something's going to happen with the Red Court eventually.
It's not like there's warring factions of Red Court in the city. Not at all.
It's also not like... Well, there is that other possibility we could always reach out to, which I keep forgetting about when we're in game. So you know how there's that rogue...
Reach out to the devil?
Yes. Oh, I'm saying there's White Court bikers.
Oh yeah, they exist. No, we should definitely get involved. Is Prism? We need the government up in here.
We still don't know what's going on at Nellis.
We should never find out. They should just stay in their corner.
Because yeah, when the government gets involved, a fucking city gets blown up. Or after a city gets blown up. Or both.
I mean, the city broke into a riot and Prism came in, and then Prism got their ass beat in the first game. Then in the second game, you guys basically joined Prism.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was.
And they wanted to use me as a lab rat.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just going like, so how's New Orleans doing?
New Orleans doing fine. They've got some new gods.
Oh Lord. I think we'd never want to go near there in game ever.
It's not like you're right next door or anything.
I mean,
There's like a portal we don't know of.
Well, no, it's you're right there on the west coast. Nevada's right next to California.
But
New Orleans is Louisiana.
Louisiana, it's southeast.
Oh, I was thinking San Diego.
San Diego,
Yeah,
okay.
Going to New Orleans. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I was like,
I mean, I could see if there's a big enough tournament, someone in a top hat showing up to play cards. Hey, you got a lot of free time when you're the god of death.
His name will be Cecil.
Oh God! And then the city
Yes.
exploded, and then we all died.
It turned inside out. It turned inside out, and then it exploded.
And then the city, the second he shows up, the city gets the permanent aspect. Everything's coming up, Seth. And then the city explodes. Fuck. Rocks fall, everyone explodes into horrible death. Anyway. That was a fun session.
Yep.
Be glad you don't experience the Jensening.
Oh yeah.
I have only heard tales, so.
I'm gonna cut the
And-
recording.
Alright. And the